All right. Hello, friends, and welcome to a new episode of Pokemon Reborn. At the beginning here, I'm going to do a little bit of a summary of everything that happened in the last recording, because I had audio issues and my microphone sounds like absolute crap. Friendly reminder, though, that if you want to see the straight recordings where I am just playing the game and not these edited versions, I do have those available on a second channel called Kidtastic VODs, where I just upload them straight from the recording. I don't edit them at all. It's just me playing the game and everything that goes wrong as I am recording. But this episode starts with us meeting with Flora in the E4, where we then proceeded to beat the entire group again in a double battle with her. A couple of notable highlights that I want to point out. Laura and Bennett are no longer double battling in the E4. They each have their own separate rooms, which I thought was really cool. Bennett's room in particular was really cool. I really liked the design. It is possibly my favorite room in the entire E4, so good for him. Elias also continued his whole "you are my lord, my god," whatever shtick that he does, and it was really annoying Flora, so I played along. At this point, I'd do anything to piss off Flora. I really don't like her. Then at the end of the E4, once we together became champion, not really, she's not champion, but it's just really interesting to go through the E4 together with somebody. Pulse Abra was there at the very end, and Flora checked it out, did whatever she needed to, and sent me off to go record my team in the Hall of Fame. So at the very least now, all of my Pokemon are there and able to be celebrated, I guess. I don't really understand the point of the Hall of Fame. I've never really felt like it was needed in Pokemon games, but there you go. There's my team. And then for some reason after this, I woke up in Eve and Lumi's house. They chatted it out. I stood there. And then I went back to the glass workstation to get Magearna, which Flora promised that she would get me access to. And then it was back to the nightclub where Eve offered me a new Pokemon, and my game crashed. So I did it a few more times just to see, and it still kept crashing, so I thought that was pretty funny. Then we went and we got a new mission where Cass told me to go to the circus, and then just jumped over the desk to join. Like, I'm obsessed with that. I wish that everybody was just like, hey, let's go on an adventure together. The circus section was honestly really boring. It was a battle royale with the chance to get an autograph from Meloetta at the end. To no one's surprise, I won. And then I just kidnapped Meloetta. Then we went back to the nightclub and got a whole new round of missions to do, which catches us up to the present and the video that I started recording last night. So let's get into that and see what this new round of missions has in store for us.
Hi. Recently, there have been some reports of multiple Pikachu swimming underwater within Ametrine Mountain. Okay. Weird place for Pikachu. They're probably not hurting anything there, but it's a Pikachu, so somebody should probably go check on them. One person already went. What's her face with the glasses? Okay. But since there's more than one Pikachu, it probably makes sense to send more than one human. You want to go too? Sure. I'm sure you're in for a spicy adventure. It'd be somewhere underwater, the greater Ametrine area. I think someone said something about looking for Ametrine B1F? Probably? Or maybe not. Even Pikachu have to breathe sometimes. And remember, when in doubt, eat it, not the Pikachu. Surely not the Pikachu. Anyway. Okay, a door. This is new, exciting. Okay. Here. Where am I? Hey guys! Your timing is most opportune, Kit. The speaker has been pursuing the given duo for an unprofessional amount of time. Telltale signs of fatigue are observable in both parties. The present moment yet proves ideal to finish the task once and for all. The speaker would request your assistance in securely resolving the matter. Oh yeah, sure. What? Huh? Intel trial complete. Let's proceed to the next phase of... Bye, Florinia. I don't want to feel... I don't know how to pronounce that. Vagar? Zagog. XG, or 8GM. I can read. Damn. Guitar 75 XMI. I don't know how to pronounce the rest of them. Rate. GX7. There. You should be able to understand me telepathically now. Thanks! As I was saying, we have to find them quickly. The humans' repressed emotions have corrupted the unnatural energy around Latios and caused it to go haywire and affect her too. If we act quickly, we can save them both. Follow me. Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll dock myself. Human. Fragments of that other human should be scattered around this place. Oh, okay. Until she learns to accept these different parts of herself, there's no way we'll be able to rescue her or Latios. You have to help her. Find her and find a way to help her understand the emotions she's disconnected herself from. What an interesting quest. You can understand me because of my power, but in order to get through to her, you'll have to speak the language of emotions, too. If you look around this place, you can surely find some hints as to how to translate from one to the other, okay? Remember, when you're trying to understand emotions, the key is to stop, wait, and pay attention, okay? If you need help, you can ask me, too. Sure. Okay, bye. B becomes... Oh, it's all a cipher. I'm about to get so lost in this place. Hey! Subject appears given to periodically covering her face with her hands. I do that. She avoids eye contact and is frequently found looking down. Same. The subject describes feeling an intense weight in her stomach and appears to fixate on past events with particular focus on what she could have done differently. The patient also appears, as a result of the affliction, to be especially given to apologizing and attempting to make amends for perceived trespass. What is it? This is K equals XJ7. I have no idea where G is, but that's guilt. An intriguing hypothesis. Subject's symptoms do appear to match a diagnosis of guilt. Acknowledged. Subject's personal history suggests a traumatic incident which she believes she may be personally responsible for. Whether or not this belief is justified, it appears to be maladapted. Untreated, an affliction of guilt may complicate it to a syndrome of shame. The speaker will continue how to best prevent, or consider, how to best prevent such an affliction from becoming malignant. Until then, the diagnosis of guilt will yet suffice for treatment. Sweet. I really thought this was going to be a hallway and I could get more. Okay, well, you're done, so... The patient reports a consistent sinking feeling within their chest cavity. No foreign objects or weights could be identified. Patient exerts a proclivity to look downward, and movement and energy both appear to be inhibited at varying degrees. Okay. The subject has been observed as occasionally producing moisture from their eyes, or a sharp exhalation of unusual strength. Okay, what if you are F5 at 5 pound? Kinda looks like it says ass. Indeed. Great. Diagnosis acknowledged. Subject is afflicted with sorrow. Defined as a feeling of distress caused by loss, disappointment, or misfortune. While initially regarded as improbable that the subject should have any rational cause to adopt this afflict and lament of, it is perhaps reasonable nonetheless. Rationality may yet be unequal to the task of making judgments of value that will be beneficial to the subject. The patient's history does indicate a veritable record of loss and disappointment, with particular regard to formal social circles and interpersonal comfort. Very well. We shall begin treatment for sorrow, post haste. What? Sit on couch, eat ice cream? The patient displays accelerated breathing, clicking nervous reaction, and impaired cognitive functioning. Additional symptoms include tensing of the muscles, furrowing of the brow, additional pressure exerted on the jaw, and a predisposition to clenched fists. Subject describes a non-literal burning sensation within her chest, that's heartburn, and has difficulty focusing on tasks unrelated to the source stimuli. G M K R at. Very well. Diagnosis acknowledged. Subject is afflicted with anger. This writer observes this anger may yet be a defensible survival skill, providing impetus for the subject to remove herself from and challenge unfavorable circumstances. Studies show that repression of anger may produce negative effects such as chronic pain, digestive issues, and tension headaches. Suppression of this survival mechanism may yet be inadvisable due to its motivating effects and adverse psychosomatic consequences under suppression. The subject may have residual anger towards past associates for mistreatment and subsequent abandonment. This is perhaps acceptable. Yippee! Yes, and the door does open if you do all those three. Okay. Where the fuck is anger? Or G or whatever. Human, it's working. By helping her understand what she's feeling, we've moved even deeper into her heart. But it's truly a shame. Why has she only acknowledged negative emotions so far? If I can still help, say the word. No. You can't. It's all up to me. Depression. Alright. I think I can start talking to Florinia's now, so. The patient appears to be wholly consumed by a new syndrome. Her pupils have dilated and she appears to need to lean forward at all times, as if pulled in by something. The patient reports a single-minded purposeness, a proclivity to dedicate herself entirely to and be possessed of a given task. Most regrettably, the specifics of said task seem to be bent out of her control, or else this affliction might have a fortuitous development for productivity. See, that's the part that confuses me, but I'm thinking... YG... FF... X... 5M? Indeed. The patient has been diagnosed with passion, a double-edged sword. On one hand, even whimsically applied to the random subjects which this passion seems to append itself to, it can prove a useful tool in many circumstances. Statistics indicate that following passion may result in an overwhelmingly significant number of benefits, ranging from production to personal health. However, it would be more ideal were a different individual afflicted with this passion. For this subject in particular, to have developed it is a severe risk. We shall consider the safest way to proceed. Okay. Subject appears to be suffering an especially irrational affliction now. She reports feeling much lighter than normal, although all metrics indicate her body weight is unchanged. The corners of her lips have forcibly been turned upwards, and her body appears to move with uncharacteristic looseness. At its most extreme, the patient is even prone to involuntarily emitting a cacophonous sound, disruptive to respiratory functions. Even the best scientists in the field have yet to ascertain the evolutionary purpose of this bizarre phenomenon. What could have happened? Girl, you are feeling percentage 5H. Joy. Impossible. No, improbable. I suppose for the sake of proper treatment, we must rule nothing out. But how could the subject have been exposed to and infected with joy? This is a disaster. We must seek help at once. There are 2 gates. Oh, and Latias has disappeared, so... I have achieved confusion! That is the exact way I'm going to say it the next time I feel confused. She finally unlocked some positive emotions, but she doesn't seem happy about it at all. Who could this be? If I can still help, say the word. No, I'm okay. Sweet. Okay. We have discovered yet another complication within the patient. Yet perhaps it is unwise of us to continue asking for your assistance in diagnostics. Discovery of emotions like anger, guilt, and sorrow can be argued to have been unavoidable. However, these new discoveries, joy and passion, create a veritable jeopardy. Were others unaware of what stimuli might cause the patient to experience joy and passion, it would produce leverage with which others could control her with, okay? The speaker does not believe we should identify any further emotions, least of all the one in this new complication, most immediately responsible for these feelings of apprehension about continuing. She is altogether too vulnerable to risk proceeding. You're feeling the good old question mark? R-G at. For what purpose do you refuse to heed the speaker's warning? The suggested diagnosis is perhaps irrefutable. It's monumentally easier to express negative emotions rather than positive ones, as positive ones produce embarrassment as a result of fear. However, it's likely that this fear is a root cause of many other problematic developments. Perhaps it's because of fear that this patient felt it necessary to disconnect from these emotions in the first place. A necessary emotion for survival, she attempted to keep herself safe by removing the very emotions that were perceived to be the source of the problem. It's an ineffectual course of action, provided the original diagnosis of precipitating factors was accurate, but the cost of severance may yet have been too high. If fear has kept the patient from experiencing other emotional afflictions, that must be the source of everything. However, there is one more qualm therein. Okay. Bye, I guess. The logical fallacy inherent. Due to the subject's fear, she has decided to repress various other emotional afflictions within herself. However, this one has to have a C and a V in it. However, the presence of fear in and of itself belies one more deeper, base desire. An effective mechanism for survival, to be sure, but where emotions are all themselves tools for survival, the suppression of them remains veritably maladaptive. It is thus reason that the priority granted to fear, which permitted it to supersede all others and thus dissociate them from the subject, must not have been a simple matter of survival. Given the circumstances, perhaps a social pressure or need instead, but that would be J 5 T R. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. All of this, everything was hidden because this subject because I wanted to be loved. Not in the twisted way that Amy asked of Tanya. I didn't want that from her. I just wanted us, all of us, to stay together as friends. Acceptance, belonging, that kind of love. There was always feelings getting in the way. Amy's depression, Tanya's resentment, Julie's whatever it is that makes her drawn exclusively to disasters. My weakness. I thought if I wasn't letting myself get so pulled down by my emotions, if I hadn't burned Tanya with them, and I knew it was a burden, what else was I supposed to do? Maybe everything could have been all right. In hindsight, it was naive. It would have never worked. Tanya's burden was Amy. I didn't help, but it wasn't me who pushed her to the breaking point, and I chose to internalize it. Maybe it was easier to internalize it than to accept that the situation was helpless. Control groups exist specifically to dissolve illusions of false control, but we don't have the luxury for our own social circles. In the end, I cut off my emotions, the things that told me I should want to feel love for the sake of earning it. The devil's deal. It was stupid. It was so stupid. I should go. I have to process all this. I feel guilt that you've been drawn into my emotional conflicts for this long already, but relief that I've at least acknowledged them. Maybe doing so is all that's necessary. Farewell for now. Okay, I really thought you were about to jump off the cliff. And thank you. Not in a, like, suicidal way. Like, I thought maybe Latios was gonna save you and it was gonna be like, whoa! But, I definitely thought you were going over that cliff. Though I would prefer it if you didn't share what happened here with the others. It would probably be important for me to do so myself. Understandable. Okay. Oh, hey guys. Human! You have done it! And now Latios is here too. Tio! Why can't Latios speak to me? Thank you for going along with our game and helping the other human. To be honest, Latios was never corrupted, bitch. We were just playing a trick to encourage you to help that girl. Being trapped in those energy fields, what you call anomalies, is kind of like living in a dream. But we couldn't wake up. After you freed us from them, we felt a deep disturbance within that human. So as thanks, we wanted to free her as well. With my emotional senses, Latios' illusions, and you to talk her through it, I think she'll be just fine. Leo! We'll be happy to go with you now, too. Oh, sweet. Let's go on an adventure. I get both of them. I get both of them? They're just standing here staring at me. Human! After we leave this place, my telepathy won't work anymore. That's okay. It's sad, but you'll just have to trust in your heart of hearts that I'm always supporting you. Let's go. But yeah. No. And no. Leo! No, and no. So it was not, in fact, a Pikachu. I was almost out of here. Oops. Shit, okay. Well, wasn't that nice? Everyone's getting their own little therapy session. And you know this wouldn't have happened without me. Would it really hurt you to show a little gratitude? Say thank you. Yeah. Was that so hard? And now you can go on to your next little adventure. If you ask nicely, I might even let you fast travel out of here. Would you like that? Please. See, that wasn't so bad. I'll put you somewhere you can fly from. My treat. Remember who's really on your side. I would have said it anyway, bitch. You didn't have to give me only thank yous.